Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Apostle Obsonate playthrough as Ike Upscribe. I am System Chalk, as I'm sure you well know, and I've neglected saying this on a couple videos, but if you are enjoying the series and you've not yet subscribed, or if you're looking for those notifications, you can hit the subscribe button and hit the little bell beside it for notifications. Sorry to be insistent on that, but I am told by people who do this for a living that repeating it is actually... it works, and that has definitely been reflected in the videos. So we got a bit of a windfall from our painting last episode, which is good. We may wind up going on a trip, but that is going to depend a little bit on what happens with the Weary Detective, and it will also depend on what we wind up using the money for. But at the moment, I feel a little secure in leaving our acquisition of tomes behind. Another thing we'll want to work through are the extra bits of glimmering that we've gotten. I can turn them into lessons learned, but the challenge, of course, is that I still need to find another glimmering in time to be able to turn this into something that I can upgrade. So it's a little bit of a risky proposition here. It would have been nicer if I could get one more glimmering in. So I'll actually unpack the strategy that I'm going to employ as we do it. Okay, we got lucky here, so the notoriety is now annihilated. The shape of the long strategy is coming clear. Let's see. I want to see when we actually learn about this. The Long's plans revealed a respite. Our enemy will not move against us this time. They will rest, and perhaps in resting they will grow stronger. Now, we've finished the Viennese conundra. Medusa's riddle, then, I choose to render as, what is not seen? There is another riddle, one I have heard rendered as, what may be lost? I will delineate some historic attempts to answer it. These are in themselves, in some sense, sacrifices. So we have the Ecdicist's parable. The Ecdicist's riddle is what may be lost. Each Ecdicist's parable is an attempt to answer the riddle. So this is probably one of the... It's funny, you know, I'll hear requests for tutorials, which I've sort of done. I think that's where a lot of you may have discovered this channel, is through a guide that I did for the game. While the game does not have a tutorial, this is one of the reasons why reading and rereading the game benefits. This tells you how to get to through the White Door. But of course that's only one of the riddles you may face at the White Door, so this may not apply to every single playthrough that you get. But one of the things that's so funny about this game, particularly if you stick with it, is to see just how much was hiding in plain sight. But of course, you know, you need to start thinking in the world of this game, which now it's, I believe, officially referred to as the Secret Histories. And that's some of the fun of it. It's actually one of the reasons why this game continues to reward as I continue playing it. I have done an Apostle Obsonate run before, but I've not done one as Ike Upscribe. So, the Tigers of Wrath are wiser than the horses of instruction. If I spend time studying what I've learned, I could work towards increasing my passion. So for the study verb, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to turn this into a lesson learnt, these into a lesson learnt, these into a lesson learnt, and then we will upgrade the collection of poetry. Read the collection of poetry to our final lesson learned. What I would have done before, if we hadn't read the Viennese Conundra, what I would be doing is sending as many Grail followers as I could on different missions, because there's the possibility that Grail will spawn that event that winds up giving you a glimmering. Another thing that I could do to try and twist things in my favor, of course, would be to paint as well, which I'll likely wind up doing anyway. But those are a couple of ways that you can tilt things in your favor. And while I try not to be too... I try not to be too mechanically driven inside of the game, there are some things that you can do to sort of push things in your favor. So I've got a Trembling Heat. I can sort of afford to get the Fascination. So let's try the Painted River. I have a sneaking suspicion this might actually give me a Fascination, but it's been a while since I've been able to get a track on what happens when I go through these doors. Also, I feel like my mic might be a little quiet, so sorry if that's been the case. There's a way I can check that really quick. I'll have to leave it to your good judgment as to whether or not... Oh, hey, it was a Forbidden Epic. Okay, that's good to remember. The attention of the hours is drawn to the bloodiest wars. Afterwards, the histories are braided like hair. So this is Forbidden Epic. This isn't immediately useful to me, but it's, you know, I'm certainly not going to turn it down either. There is a great chamber in the mansis through which a painted river flows. The vagabond, it is claimed, painted it from memory in the years before she left the house. Certainly there are histories concealed in its design. I traced them with my hand last night. There were fragments of aquamarine paint beneath my nails, flecks of gold leaf when I was done. So at this point I don't really see any reason to do anything other than continue to go through the stag door. And sorry, I said white door, it's the stag door that you go through with that riddle. It's very important to do what I do, not what I say. An unusual vessel. I find an unexplained reference to Hebe in my research, and my attention is diverted. What is Hebe? A woman? A place? A name of an hour? This is funny. I've not actually read this fragment yet. I always get it. I know what's coming up, but... We've got an acquaintance, and we're done work in just a second. Well, 4 or 5 seconds. Alright, so we've got some dread. That was partly a mistake, but here's some contentment which we can use to tranquilize it. We've got some money. We've got a season of ambitions coming up. And I think... So 20 seconds with the dread, I can manage that. Let's do a painting about our fleeting reminiscence. So as always, we'll take advantage of our reputation and then toss a couple passion in. You never know, this might be a living. There are more windows in my soul, but sunlight is not the only thing that passes through a window. Alright, so again, we're going to just keep doubling up the glimmering until we can unpack the collection of poetry. And we have a subtle rupture, which I would normally use for summoning. In this case, let's go to the Ascent of Knives. I don't think this is going to give us anything that we want, but we did dodge a fascination here, which is good. Gained a furious air. Now, of course, I could have combined that with the dread. The painted river wasn't all that much of a risk, but I'd like to try and get into the habit of treating this as if I didn't have that get out of jail free card. Of the place my dreams took me last night, this has been written. The ascent is glass, the walls are knives, each step is blood. I did not climb far, the pain was too great. When I woke, that pain remained with me, a pain that I could employ to occult purposes if I hurry. Anger is implicit in every shape. So I don't need to worry about this one decaying too much. And again, I'm going to just keep... Oh, no, sorry. Let's get rid of the dread, because I don't have my contentment for very long. I remember I was different before. I've seen too much, a nameless, gnawing fear has its teeth in my hopes, an existential horror. Hebe is a ship. In fact, many ships have borne that name over the centuries. All of them have provided transport and accommodation to those who know something of the invisible world, and none of them show up in shipping records. But I've learnt that the steamer, the Hebe Stanton, is docking soon in a grimy and unregulated port in the in a northern island. I could send someone to purloin unwatched occult luggage. A battered but surprised... sorry, we'll read that before. I might actually do that before... I might actually wind up doing that before the continent. I'm just trying to remember what challenges I go up against, so it may take me a while, but well, I can still unpack the Forbidden Epic. The stories that have been forbidden are the ones most apt for us to read. William Gore. See the mistakes, but I can also see the end. And we have Dorothy, a very welcome addition. Dorothy is an enthusiastic sort with an eclectic reading habit. She's fascinated by my hints about the shapes beneath the world's skin. And at this point, I don't really think there's anything else for me to do. It's clear now that I need to swell the ranks if I'm going to be raiding the Hebe Stanton. But let's make the most of our opportunities and continue talking about the hidden world. There's something special. It may provoke a reaction. My recent work is considered significant. I may yet earn a living from this, but nothing is certain. So this is going to generate restlessness, which I may have to deal with before I can paint again. So gain some contentment. 2 contentment. Passion, which we've exhausted. Looks like we really just kind of paid the bills with that. It's a bit of a pity, but a courier has arrived from our delight with a vial of their most holy blood. Nope, we're going to get another one of those too. It's just as well because we are getting close to the end. Our mortal enemy has allies and resources in many nations. They move slowly, but as time passes, they will bring more and more of those allies and resources to bear against us. Which is why the fact that I'm sort of lollygagging is going to be something... like, this is going to come back to bite me later. The fact that we already know who the Long is definitely an indication that, you know, our progress is not as quick as... our progress is not as quick as our enemies. The fact that... my biggest concern, in fact, is the fact that I'm not able to summon anything yet. The sun still moves, the wind still walks, my journals are the labyrinth clue. So, as before, we'll keep going through the stag door. I am, of course, eventually going to have to set aside some time to combine the two. In fact, maybe letting this decay into dread is not a bad idea, just so I can get rid of the fascination that comes from the healing. We'll decide that at the time, but there are worse things that could happen. A half-glimpse of wistfulness has touched me, so we will use that for painting. And we found the Cave of Candles. So let's send a pawn out to see what opportunities we can find. Again, we'll use the funds for expeditions, I think, rather than any other details. A hireling. I found someone who I might pay to enact regrettable necessities, add funds to hire them for a limited time. And we really don't need a shifty woman right now, so we'll leave that aside. Season of Visions is coming up. That's going to be a bit of a risk for my recovery. I think we can thread that needle, though. The clerks file out in silence. I am free for now, so it's rather important to me to get that painting done as soon as possible. So again, we'll double up the passion. I might need to do 3... you know what? Let's do something that's a little bit more me-driven. This should have an impact. A restless longing has me. I feel that I want to do something. What exactly? Couriers arrived with our arrived from our delight with a single vial of their most holy blood. There are more windows in my soul, but sunlight is not the only thing that passes through a window. So we have a little under 3 minutes to be able to combine everything, but we are well on our way to upgrading our status. All right, so I think at this point we should be getting the secret histories here. Nope, erudition, but still not bad. I'm ready to improve. Painted river runs from a great chamber near the white door, far through the mansis, to its far edge where it enters a painted delta of far cloud. I voyaged half its length last night with a stern-faced captain beneath a rust-red sail. As the clouds rose before us, the sailors raised a yearning shanty and close-hauled the sails to best use the painted wind. And all of the while the captain and I discoursed of the secrets of the House of the Sun. Again, our goal right now is to try and fill out our secret histories with the continent. So I'm just going to keep hammering away at the stag door. All conviction. The world goes away. We may generate a fascination off of this, which will actually be very ill-timed. But I Probably should have thought that through. Yes, let's keep the pawn going. And we gained a peculiar rumor. So in this case, this was the patron that got picked up. I was wondering why my reason was down. Not the end of the world. We do get a light in the skull from that. That's going to be bonus erudition, although certainly not enough to take us over the edge. I just want to make sure there's nothing... I will wait. I think I should wait to see what happens with the... Oh wow, I've got 2 staleness now. I should take some time and see what happens with my painting, because I might need to talk away something. The artist's reward. My recent work is considered significant. I may yet earn a living from this, but nothing is certain. It looks like we didn't get any money from that. That's a pity. That's the risk that we run, of course, but yeah, so we have more staleness, but no no cash to show for it. That's a shame. I do have some ways of getting some money, but let's say, yeah, let's keep using our occult scrap to explore. And here we got an entry consultant, so if we need some money, that's not a bad way of getting it, I suppose. But I'm not of the belief that we should spend money to make money here. Alright, Eldridge is back. Eldridge was there to protect us from the physical attack. We've got glimpses, and now we are ready to upgrade our fevered imagination, so we'll take our lessons learnt first. And the real question now is, what kind of lore do we want to put inside? I don't remember if Lantern does anything. No, it doesn't. So I'm fairly certain Moth will. So cut my hair, cut my bonds, cut my snip, snip, snip. But I don't think Ike is driven by unreason. Folly. Who desires but acts not, breeds pestilence. Now, I'm a little curious. I did want it to be Grail driven, but I do kind of want to see... Yeah, so Winter doesn't do anything, Lantern doesn't do anything. That doesn't surprise me so much. I'm curious if Forge does anything. No. Edge. Interesting. Surely Heart does, though. Heart is unreason. Anyways, one way or the other, we are committing to Folly. A detail that will be revealed much later in this series. Unless I get very lucky with my progress, but I kind of already know what my pace is. Okay, this is exactly what we wanted, a forgotten chronicle. Last night Gearby was talkative. He spoke in a siege engine voice of the histories he'd overheard in the waking world. I listened until his stories tailed off again into weeping. And we will continue going through the stag door, just because oh, hang on. Yes, I have more than enough time. The stag door is the Adept's Gate. To pass through it is to be initiated in the first true mystery of the House of the Sun. The head Gearby weeps to see me enter where it cannot, but it must let me pass. The scarred valves of the door grind open. I think I need to... Actually, I think I already was condemned to not having the peculiar rumor turn out, but as it turns out, we don't want to generate notoriety at the time we're being investigated, so that was always kind of a false promise. Mirrors are calm, the sun is steady, the glory recedes. I'm sane, if that means anything. We're getting close to the end, but let's at least see this through to let's see this through to the end of the upgrade. So I'm going to do physical labor here, and my main reason for doing that, once again I put my strength to use, is that it only takes me 40 seconds to get that job done. Better not, I must be careful of the company I keep, so I won't Won't touch that, but we are going to investigate the continent. Little wars, great intrigues, cryptic priesthoods, mystic crimes. All past now, but what traces did they leave? The shape of the long strategy is coming clear. And now my soul lies ready. So we have an open soul. Behold, they stand at my door and knock. If I hear any voice, I will open the door, and they will come in me and sup with them. They will come into me and sup with them, and they with me. Passion and skill can increase no further. So this is going to be a big boon towards my ability to do paintings. I'm now going to be able to add another card. Hopefully this will help me out in terms of removing my staleness as well as adding more reputation. More importantly, I can sort of abandon this quest to get some more glimmering. We'll eventually turn our attention towards erudition. There's going to be one other use for this passion card, but that's not going to be for a while. I think I will leave my reading for the next broadcast because I've now 2 videos where I've run overtime, and I apologize for that. So as always, thank you very much for watching. I hope you're enjoying the stream or the broadcast. And we'll see you next week for the continued adventures of the Apostle Obsonate.